I once asked, if you're innocent, why are you taking the Fifth Amendment? I was asking that question. Now I know the answer to that question. When your family, your company, and all the people in your orbit have become the targets of an unfounded, politically motivated witch hunt supported by lawyers, prosecutors, and even the fake news media, you really have no choice. We cannot permit a renegade and out-of-control prosecutor to use this investigation as a means of advancing her political career.
Anything you say can and will be used against you. That was former President Trump seen on a newly released video pleading the Fifth Amendment again and again during a deposition last August. I don't blame the guy. Of course he should. It was a month before Letitia James, the Attorney General, filed a still ongoing $250 million civil case, not even criminal, civil, folks, seeking to drive all of his business out of the state, taking away jobs and stuff.
Everything she can do. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all politics.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Joining us now for more, former acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Acting Attorney General, great to have you back. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Good to be with you today.
We're going to jump right in. If the government spent, and I think we've had this discussion once before, if they spent, a better part of the last decade going after you, your family, your business, your entire orbit, as the president said, why would you ever say anything? You don't have to be a lawyer for this one.
No, you don't. And this is, again, a continuation of Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, the left is triggered by Donald Trump. They want to destroy him, to get him off the map, to prevent him from, running for president again. And the reason is because he was so effective. You can argue about his personality, but what you can't argue about is his policies. His policies for 4 years made the American people more prosperous, and ultimately were what works in America. And he brought conservative ideology to the federal government, and it worked, splendidly. And again, it was just the mean tweets were what people put their, claimed was the problem. And it's too bad that he's having to go through this. But I know him well, and he's a warrior, and he continues to fight through this.
But, sir, when a Democrat says, I'm pleading the Fifth, I'm not saying anything, that's their constitutional right, which of course it is. But when a Republican does it, well, obviously he's guilty if he's not saying anything.
Yeah, and you can't do that. Obviously, our founding fathers were a genius when it came to these basic and fundamental rights and the power of the government versus the individual, and why you need the Fifth Amendment, and why when you have state attorneys general going after you, local prosecutors going after you, the Department of Justice going after you, why you can't be compelled to testify against yourself. I mean, it is it's basic individual liberty 101. We'll see what happens in these cases. I think we saw a little bit playing out in the House when they took a member off a committee, and you saw the hue and cry when the same tactics were used against the left. Unfortunately, I think we are in a zero-sum game right now with the Republicans and the Democrats.
It's always a double standard, but if you put yourself, sir, in Merrick Garland's shoes for a minute, how would you handle this?
Well, I've been in his shoes, and we've talked about before how I would have never appointed a special counsel for Donald Trump. And, ultimately that's how Merrick Garland has himself in this box, where he appointed a special counsel against the President of the United States, Joe Biden. And he's probably going to have to appoint a special counsel against Mike Pence, the former vice president. This is why the Department of Justice needs to have a more discerning, smart, and brave individual at its helm. And I've sat in that chair. I've made those decisions. And, Merrick Garland is a disaster. Let's just admit he doesn't know what he's doing, and he has bad people giving him bad advice.
Yeah, well, for anybody who doesn't like Trump, that says they're Republican, they can thank Trump for him not being on the Supreme Court. Matthew Whitaker, we appreciate you being here, sir.
Thank you, gentlemen.